What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trey.
Yeah, it's your boy, Chris.
And we're the hosts of Get a Bucket. What in the world are you doing? Probably blew out the mic. That's crazy, bro. But I'm loving the energy. How's everything with you?
What's going on, boss? How are you?
Hey, man. Well, let's not talk present day, right? But just at least not too much.
Got you.
Yeah, but I'm good nonetheless, though. How about yourself?
Bro, first week of work. Other than that, I don't know about you. Damn sure I don't know about me. Let's get them what they want. How about that?
Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, real quick before we get on into the show. Obviously, this is the WNBA predictions, right? Discussion, if you will. So what we're going to do is talk about our playoff predictions, and we're going to list off our predictions really quick, and then throughout the game, we'll talk about more subtopics, right? But who you got for your top 8?
Mine is Chicago Sky, Indiana Fever, Phoenix and Mercury, Seattle Storm, Minnesota Lynx, Las Vegas Aces, at Connecticut Sun, and New York at Liberty.
Okay. We starting down from the worst team. Got you. All right. So my team is the Dream. You know what I mean? The Fever at number 7, the Mercury at number 6, the Aces at number 5, the Storm at number 4, the Sun at number 3, the Lynx at number 2, and the Liberty at number 1. So let's see what happens when the playoffs hit. But we're going to talk about the teams that at least we think will go to the playoffs. So stay tuned. We'll be back and ready to talk about a couple games.
DC the beat man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Listen, we got a wonderful quarter to talk about. Typically, all of them are, right? But we're going to talk about a couple teams. So let's start it off with the Atlanta Dream.
That could work.
Okay, I ain't trying to be too biased. You know what I'm saying? What we got? What you got with the Atlanta Dream?
I got
Chris?
you, bro. I got you, bro. My first question is, if they get in, how far can this young Dream team go? Or how many games they can win if they get in?
So the Atlanta Dream, I actually think is a really scary team. I think the Atlanta Dream can go, I want to comfortably say, the second round.
Okay.
I do think they have the potential to get to the championship game, to that final round. But I would comfortably say they have the experience to get to the second round. It's gonna be a tall task getting there, though. Mm-hmm. But I think when I look at the teams that they have to battle, they have a strong chance at getting to the playoffs over the Sky, over the Wings, right, over the Mystics. So if any team that goes up against them in the playoffs should have a quality competition. And my question is kind of similar to yours. Mm-hmm. What do you view them as? What would you view as a disappointment to the Dream in terms of exiting the playoffs? What round?
If they can catch lightning in a bottle, I'm with you. I could say they can make it to the second round. Mm-hmm. But that's only if you got to do one thing only. You have to win on the road. That is the toughest thing for any young team is to really play on the road.
So what round would be a disappointing playoff exit for you?
Getting not even so in the type of hard in the first round.
Okay, so it's more so you not showing heart in the first round. That's more disappointment. Okay,
correct.
So then I personally think they're at least going to show heart. You have Tina Charles, who you've called their X Factor before.
Yes.
You have Rhyne Howard and Allisha Gray, who I believe have a 2-year championship window at least to win a championship and be viewed as those two-way stars. Look at Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Even though it's taken them 7 years, finally they got there. I think Rhyne Howard and Allisha Gray do have that talent. What do you think about the duo for the Dream?
I love them.
Okay.
I love them.
Do you agree with me on my championship window?
I do.
I feel like I want to go 2 to 3, but I also feel like if they can't get to that championship round within this 2-year period for me, I'm not talking about this season, I'm talking about next season and then the season after. Mm-hmm. I think the Dream, or at least one of these two, could look to go elsewhere.
Ooh. You know, I'm with you on that.
Okay.
I'm with you on that.
Now, if you're with me on that, then I'm curious how you feel about this. Tina Charles, after this season, she'll be an unrestricted free agent.
Yes.
Do you expect her to return to the Dream, and should she want to?
If they get knocked out early, I would not see her come back next year.
Okay.
Now, if they make a deeper push, you gotta like a light in the bottle.
It's tough because, like, I feel you. I just think because you had injuries early on, Jordan Canada was injured, then you had Rhyne Howard was injured. You had a couple of key injuries to the squad, and when they came back, they get to the playoffs. I do think Tina Charles could wonder what if. Now, you could also be right in saying maybe she wants to go to a stronger contender.
Yes.
But I think this Dream Team helps her legacy out more so than going to a contender. You'd be viewed more so as a role player. I think Candace Parker, when she went to the Aces, she probably would have been viewed more as a role player on that team, even though you can make the case she was like a second or third option sometimes. So I do hear you on that. Let's slide on down from the Dream. You know what I'm saying? We talked enough about the Dream. You know what I'm saying? And let's go ahead and talk about here then the Sky. Let's talk about the Sky.
Okay.
Angel Reese is out. Mm-hmm. I asked you, does that shake your pickup a little bit? And he said no, ladies and gentlemen. So with that being said, what's a disappointing playoff exit for the Sky for you?
I would say getting in is like a blessing, but no. Not even trying to joke. Not even trying a joke at all. From having a first-year coach to having the
arguable rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year. For them to make to the playoffs as a whole, it's
impressive.
Yes, impressive.
Okay. So because of that, then do they need to make the playoffs? Like, certain teams need to make the playoffs. And again, even before the injury, did the Chicago Sky need to make the playoffs?
They need to.
Okay, now that Angel Reese is injured, do they still need to?
I'm leaning towards no.
Okay.
I'm leaning towards no.
Okay, so do you feel like they should tank, or do you feel like they should continue to play hard?
Oh, absolutely.
Tank?
Okay. No.
Oh, I was about to say.
No, don't even try to tank. No, continue to play.
Okay.
Continue to play hard. Continue to play aggressive. You good.
Okay, now, it's weird that I think Angel Reese's last play, it was a 3-point bucket. So do you expect her to come back with a better skill game next season? Before the injury. Okay, so
yes.
You think, okay, now do you expect her to shoot more threes, or do you expect her to be more of like a mid-range game? Because personally, I think Angel Reese is going to model her game after Asia Wilson.
So
I think expect to see Angel Reese more of a mid-range specialist at some point in time. Fingers crossed, but she's more mobile than Asia. So I think because of the mid-range game, factoring in the rebound, if she can add that mid-range game, I think that's the skill that she at least should develop the most. What do you think personally?
And I'm with you. Like, she needs, if she can get the mid-range, like, good and golden, she will come back next year even more hungrier. Because basically it was between a two-horse race for the rookie of the year.
Yeah.
She's going to show next year that even though she won it, but damn it, I should be at the rookie of the year.
I feel like this is going to be arguably the most, like the biggest chip on Angel Reese's shoulders for her career. And I say arguably because there's so many players and people, not players, there's so many people and trolls on the internet that talk about Angel unnecessarily.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's
I
because
don't
of
like
this
it.
rookie of the, and I feel like it's because of the rookie of the year race. And I'm not the biggest fan of it. I've made constant videos where I'm talking about another player and somehow we negatively try to talk about Angel Reese. That's trash. So I think because of that, that could be fuel to the fire this season. Because next season, they won't talk about her as much because there's no sophomore of the year race. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the rookie of the year highlight. So
Yes.
that's the reason why I feel like this could be arguably the most fuel to the fire that Angel Reese's career will have. But we done talked about the sky. Let's go slide on down to the Fever.
Yeah.
What's a disappointing playoff exit for the Fever? Because people have been highlighting the Fever. Caitlin Clark for MVP. Aaliyah Boston was on the squad. They have 3 All-Stars. They've been on a nice little win streak. They've been
cooking.
They've been hitting since the All-Star break.
They've been cooking.
So with all these narratives being spun, right? Positive narratives, by the way. What's a disappointing playoff exit for the Fever?
It depends on who they play. It depends on who they play.
Well, all right. So based on your assessment, right, they would play the Sun, which personally, that's a favorite of mine. Like I look forward to that matchup because that's what I said during the halfway mark, right? What would be like a disappointing loss?
First round.
Okay, so you expect them to beat the Sun. It's crazy because ESPN said the exact same thing. So I personally think the Sun are going to beat them, but I agree. I can somewhat see it being tougher than people might expect.
Oh yeah,
if you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But okay, so first round exit is crazy, but this was one of the teams I felt like needed to make the playoffs. So if the Fever didn't make the playoffs this season, what would you think about the team going forward?
They would not have the rookie of the year. They would not have the rookie of the year, and it would not be at that many trolls, that many negative. Well,
I'm talking more so for the future, not for the rookie of the year race. Yeah, just to be clear. So, like, for the future, do you think there'd be trepidation around Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston and and the Fever actually winning a championship in the future because they didn't make the playoffs this year?
I don't think it would haunt them, but it would damn sure would and make them hungry.
Okay. I respect that. I respect that opinion. I could see that too. Sometimes a good ass whooping does help out following season. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs a good butt whooping sometimes. It is what it is. I do look forward to seeing how Caitlin Clark comes back the next season too, because I think something that's not talked about enough. I mean, we talk about Angel Reese's missed layups and field goal percentage, which I hear that. I respect that. She shoots okay from the free throw line. I just want to note that. So, it's correctable stuff. When we talk about Caitlin Clark and her assists, we don't talk about the turnovers because she's leading the WNBA in turnovers as a rookie too. So let's factor that in as well, ladies and gentlemen. So I am curious about the turnovers and how she cuts down going forward. Because if she can't, then, all right, should she be a 2 guard? That could be a discussion, 1 or 2 options. So a 1 or 2 guard. So I'll be looking forward to see that over the next couple I guess, months because the season's about to end and then come back around. So I guess next year we'll see what happens. Yeah. But I mean that we done talked about all the teams. So and the buzzer did go off. So I mean, I guess we'll be back in a little bit after a moment from our sponsors. So we gotta pay some bills. We'll be right back. Excuse us for a second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Chris.
Yep.
All right, so we got more WNBA teams to talk about. Let's go ahead and talk about them. New York Liberty.
Yes, sir.
They were in the finals last year.
Yes, sir.
Do they need a title this season? I personally think they don't, right? But I don't. At the same time, I do, but ultimately, I don't think so. I think they can win another one the following season. But I hesitate to say I do, just for another couple of reasons. But we'll talk. I got other questions about those.
I got you.
Do you think that they need a title, ultimately?
I'm with you. Should they win one this year? No, but the following
They
year.
shouldn't?
Yes.
What do you mean they shouldn't? I'm curious.
Because you had to go through two hard-nosed teams to even make it to the final. And
I mean, this is the number one seed team, though.
yeah,
They were in the finals last year.
and you guys, and you now you was the hunter, now you're the hunted. So meaning is like whoever you get not only in the first round, but in the finals, if you go farther, they're going to give you their best chance. So truthfully, I'm with you. Like, part of me wants them to win, but part of me wants them to win next year.
I mean, I'm not really. It would be cool to see them win. It's weird. I don't actually necessarily root for a specific team nowadays unless I put a little bread on them. But when I think of this squad, I think ultimately it would be nice for them to win because that would entice someone like Breanna Stewart to stay on the squad. She's an unrestricted free agent next season. That means she can go wherever she wants to. And some people might want to consider that Breanna Stewart, at least I know the social media is going to talk about how she could consider going to the Fever. Because most of their team is on rookie deals, at least the starters. So if you add, like, Breanna Stewart to that squad, that's disgusting work. So if you win a championship, meaning the Liberty, I think you secure Breanna Stewart for at least 3-4 more seasons. Because now you win a championship, although she won one with the Storm too.
Yeah.
But there's an argument to be made that this team is better. But then again, don't sleep on the Storm too. Because
Damn right.
they do have a young, talented team, and she was on the Storm not too long ago. So the history is there. But do you think Breanna Stewart will return to the Liberty? And then if so, what would need to happen for her not to return to the Liberty?
If they don't make it into the finals.
So if they don't make it to the final, so if they make it, if they go as far as they can in the second round, they play all the games they can, bro. You mean tell me they can't? You mean tell me she's gonna be like, we can't do it? That's a tough out. It's a tough out.
It is.
But
Don't get it twisted.
But you don't think she would care? You think she would choose another team still?
Would you want to be loyal to home, or you want to go somewhere else?
Some people choose loyalty. Some people choose loyalty.
That's true. That's true.
You would want to see her leave.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair there. Do you feel like Sabrina needs to be the star of the team?
I mean, this was her team when she got drafted.
Yeah.
This was going to be her team, but then when Stewie came,
It became Stewie's. Well, it became like a duo. Which you need team. You need help. Don't get me wrong.
You do.
I'm just thinking, looking at Caitlin Clark as an example. Caitlin is viewed as the star. Aaliyah Boston is a star in her own right too. Do not get me wrong, but everybody's hyping up Caitlin Clark too. And Sabrina Ionescu, when she came into the league before she got injured, she was doing similar stuff as Caitlin was. So can that method of madness work for Sabrina winning a championship? Maybe she doesn't need to be the second fiddle, the 1B, perceived on the squad. Maybe she needs to be the 1A. That could be a discussion too, which if you have Jonquel and Sabrina, Jonquel could be viewed as an Aaliyah Boston and or they could be that duo could be viewed as the same way people view Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark. So that could be something to look at as well. But I mean, I think that's enough about the Liberty.
I got one more.
Oh, you got one more question?
Yeah.
All right, that's not bad. What you got for me?
Jonquel Jones, X Factor. Is she? Let me ask you this. In order for them to go to the final and win it, do she need to help out Sabrina and Stewie for them to finally get over that long hope?
I mean, I said last year if Jonquel Jones dominates, it makes Breanna Stewart become the second fiddle, and I think Jonquel Jones has that capability. Then the Liberty win. But to answer your question, yes, she has to help. Everybody got to help for starters. But
Absolutely.
I think Jonquel Jones has to be at minimum third option, but definitely second option for them to win. Sabrina has to snap, but I think Sabrina can get checked sometimes. So Jonquel, you have the physical mismatch. Stewie, you have the physical mismatch a lot of times. So I would expect them to dominate. So that's why I would say yes, ultimately to your question. And this season she has been playing pretty well. So does it hold up in the playoffs? That's what I said at the halfway mark. That's what I'm saying now. So I mean that's been the case though with Jonquel. But yeah, no, I appreciate it. I appreciate that one. That was a good one. Now we got to talk about this. We got to talk about the Storm.
Okay. Got
to talk about the Storm. We got a couple questions. I like the Storm. I said I think the Storm and Liberty should actually make it to the finals. That was my prediction. I think that was yours too.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but prediction or wish list. But I would say at the halfway mark prediction, right? But there have been some teams that have been impressive, but the Storm have been impressive, even though they've lost a couple games too. What's a respectable a disappointing playoff exit for the Storm? I personally think I might give them a little grace just because it's the first year. Like second round. First round would be a little disappointing. Second round, I'm sorry. I meant first round is disappointing. Second round, I could see them losing respectfully. But I can also see them getting to that championship. But first round is definitely disappointing. What about yourself?
I'm with you. A team that is caliber as Seattle, getting a knockout in the first round will be a big stinker to their season. Mm-hmm. Realistically, second round or final. But if they get knocked out in the first round, it's going to be a lot of questions going into the offseason.
And I think some of those questions, too, could be around the players. Like, do they have enough help?
That's the problem. I don't think so.
You don't like their role players?
I like Gabby. I like the big girl in the middle.
Why are you so raspy? Like,
No.
I'm like,
No. No, like, I like Gabby. I like the big girl in the middle. I just don't know if they have enough to help out the big two. Because if one of them don't have a game, it's going to look bad.
I think they have enough. Again, Gabby's there. Jordan Horston, like they have Ezzie Magbagor, Skylar Diggins-Smith, like they have enough talent on that squad. They have at minimum a 7-man or woman roster. And I haven't mentioned all their players. I just listed off a couple. So they have the depth. It's just the experience with their team. That's it. At least for me. So I don't question them too much. The big two, that you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
NECA and Jewel Lloyd.
Yeah.
This is the time for Jewel Lloyd, like I said, to shine and show that she can lead her team the way Kobe did with Pau Gasol. I think this is a comparable scenario, and this would be a wonderful legacy maker for you. You know what I'm saying? Breanna Stewart left.
Yeah.
And you would actually get this ring before she does. Like, that would be pretty cool, too. And then that could also entice Breanna Stewart to come back, spin the block one time. Or, hey, y'all run it again with the squad that you won with. I'm not mad at either selection. But the teams would be good. My only question now is, what do they have to do for NECA to want to stay? Because she is an unrestricted free agent next season.
She is.
So that's why I put a little pressure on them to say that first round exit is a little bit tough. You don't want to be wasting years as an athlete in these moments right now.
You don't.
If y'all get past the first round, I think you might have a solid shot at securing NECA, at least for the next 2 years, as an investment. You already got Skylar for this year and next year, but you want to secure NECA as well too, because next season they should get even better. But I mean, what do you think this Storm's title window is? I think I said about 2 to 3 years, but I might land on the 2 now. What do you think?
A low to high 3.
Okay, all right.
A low to high 3.
Okay, all right. Like I said, I dropped mine from that 2 to 3 to 2 just because, again, I want to see more cohesion, but I respect that, though. I respect that.
The only reason why I say it's a low 2 is literally how they're going to do this at this playoffs.
Okay. All right, I got you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I mean, the buzzer just went off. Y'all heard it, but what we're gonna do is take a quick little hiatus, pay some bills, come right back, and we got some more hoops to talk about. So we'll be back after a moment from our sponsors. Swanky's Construction serves as the general contractor in the metropolitan D.C. area. We're a team of certified professionals who tackle everything from complex large projects to smaller scale jobs. Fueled by our commitment to excellence, we go the extra mile to make sure clients are completely satisfied with our work. Swanky's Construction takes pride in ensuring our clients' home improvement needs are met with efficiency, precision, and perfection. Call us today. You're only seconds away from a consultation or in-person walkthrough. Hooping is an activity that can be enjoyed by all. It's a team game about getting and stopping buckets. Everyone's always rushing to the gold. Well, make sure to rush and watch Team Gold Rush, one of the best teams in the Special Olympics of Virginia. Team Gold Rush even has former NBA All-Star participants on the team. Clearly, they've struck gold. Ready to suit up and practice? I know. We talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. Practice still makes perfect. So when the opponent starts hitting their shots, Team Gold Rush can bounce back due to their training. Remember, offense sells tickets and defense wins championships. Watch us get a bucket and rush for the gold. We aim to be that gold standard. So want a team where you can win and have fun? Team Gold Rush is your number one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Chris.
Yep.
Connecticut Sun.
Let's do it.
Let's go ahead and talk right about them. You know what I mean?
Damn right.
What's a disappointing playoff exit for the Connecticut Sun?
Not going to the damn finals.
That's all right. I mean, that's a little tough because they haven't been to the finals, and I mean, it's been like what, 2022. So
Yeah,
I mean,
2022.
That's tough to say they have to make it to the finals. But I do feel you, because I do feel like this could be their last season, as a team, right? I know that DeWanda Bonner, Alyssa Thomas, they are unrestricted free agents. So the team could very well look a little different. The league could look a little different next season just from this one team alone. If they do get to the finals, you said don't get to the finals, right?
If they don't make it to the finals.
Okay. So if they lose in that second round, but it's a tough second round. You don't think they'll bounce back? That's tough. All right, so does Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner go to the same team, or do they part ways? Does one retire? Like, what do you think ultimately?
I think, and it all depends on how they do. And honestly,
well, they lost in the playoff. They didn't make it to the finals. So under that scenario, do you think Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner ultimately leave the squad and join another team together? Do you think one retires? Do you think they go to separate teams? Like, what do you think? Are they a package deal?
I would say it go to a different team.
Okay.
But I feel like they should go to separate teams.
Okay, so you think they're going to go to different teams,
Yeah.
and you want them to go to different teams?
I want them to go to different teams, but I want them to go on their own path.
I mean, I'm not really getting the own path part personally, because I think even if they're on the same team, they would be on their own path. Like, they both do different roles. But I guess I hear you too, though. I just think ultimately they've been a good duo, so why not ride it out together? If don't fix it. I understand they haven't brought a championship together, but they can be a valuable team or a resource to another squad. So, like, let's say, for example, the Atlanta Dream, that could be a quality team if they have the financial resources to do so. But
And the cap.
Okay. So ultimately, this is a do or die year for the Sun.
I got one.
Okay.
So this is not college, but will a championship will give Connecticut the nickname Title Town?
Why? Why would it?
So you got UConn men and UConn women.
Well,
Okay.
UConn women didn't win it. UConn men, I hear it, but like,
I'm talking about.
I mean, if you want to say in basketball terms, cool. Like two teams with Connecticut won it. Yeah, like shout. Kudos to them. I don't know about Title Town though. Like I don't think they called LA Title Town
No.
per se when we won it with the Spark. So I don't know. Did they call it when UConn won it with men and women?
Nope.
It
was
guess.
a question that
I'm just asking the question. Real quick, was DT on that Connecticut team that won it when Emeka and them won it?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I was just asking. Because, ladies and gentlemen, that was a nice little transition onto the Mercury. Real quick, bro. What's the playoffs? What's the playoff? I'm sorry. What's the disappointing playoff exit for the Mercury?
Getting out the first round, and I think
Getting out of the first round is so you mean losing in the first round?
losing in the first round, and I think they need to start from the bottom and work their way back up. I think it's time
So you think they need to get rid of everybody on the squad? So, because all right, so I personally think Diana Taurasi's retiring.
Yes.
Brittany Griner is an unrestricted free agent next season. Mm-hmm. Clea Copper you have for about 2 seasons, including this one. So you think they should get rid of Brittany Griner and Clea Copper?
Man, bro. Yes. Out of all of the
So you don't think there's a way to retool? Because I mean, you do have at least a competent point guard. You have Sophie Cunningham who can at least shoot the ball decently. Like, you have some pieces, and now that I have some openings, maybe I can get a DeWanna Bonner to come back. Maybe I can get an Alyssa Thomas to play on the squad. That can help out my team. Those are 2 missing pieces for the squad right there that could actually pan out. You don't think that would be worth going and doing?
I mean, it could work. I say it could work. But again, when you have like championship and championship success over the years with one of the GOATs, it's nothing wrong with, and it's nothing wrong, ladies and gentlemen, it's nothing wrong with taking a back seat and literally start from scratch. It's nothing wrong with that at all. Hell, us Lakers fans, we seen worse.
But like you're saying, don't build off what could be a solid foundation because Aaliyah Copper and Brittany Griner have been playing pretty well this season. I can arguably say if you remove DT and put another forward in there, maybe you do a few more things because, again, of DT's age. DT's still a good player, don't get me wrong. But you might be able to do a few more things with like a younger player. So I can't quite say let's rebuild. I do feel where you're coming from, but with BG still in play, and then with Aaliyah Copper, who was just doing her thing on Team USA, I think Phoenix is straight. But first round exit, I would be a little disappointed. I do think the Phoenix Mercury can actually make it to the championship. They have that talent. Only thing is, Brittany Griner has to dominate, and she has that ability. Aaliyah Copper, she has to play extremely well, and she has that ability. So as long as those two play well, and then also DT plays her role, shout out to Natasha Cloud, they have a good enough team. And again, Sophie Cunningham bringing about 38, 39% from three. That's not bad. That works out really well. So you got a bunch of shooters, and Brittany Griner just I think we can make something work. But again, there are other teams with a little bit more depth. So I think that does hurt them, but they have that potential. So I do hear you when you say the first round is a little disappointing. I just think overall, when I look at all these teams, some of them are a little disappointing at first round. So someone going to be disappointing. That's what I'm hearing. But someone going to be disappointing. But I'm also hearing that the buzzer went off. So what we're going to do is take a quick hiatus, pay some bills, come right back. And we got more hoops to talk about. So we'll be back after a moment from our sponsors. Sports is one of the few things that genuinely connects us together. Whether with coworkers, friends, family, we all love the entertainment. Well, here on Get a Bucket, my goal is to talk about sports and its cultural impact. The WNBA, for example. The WNBA is loads of entertainment. From the new rookies battling, displaying their skill sets, and preparing to take the league by storm, to the Titans and the MVPs of the league clashing for battles we'll always remember. From imagining the soon-to-be possibilities, to admiring and treasuring the finales. Get a Bucket is a platform where other sports analysts, hoopers, coaches, and fans of the show come and talk about the WNBA, both negatives and positives. So if you haven't, take a quick peek. At the very least, you'll have a good time. Remember, sports is one of the few things that genuinely connects us together. So please, tune in and stay connected. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Chris.
Yep.
We got some more teams to talk about.
Let's get it.
Let's start it off with the Minnesota Lynx. What's a disappointing playoff exit for the team? Like, they've been hooping.
They have been hooping.
What you thinking? 'Cause
Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it.
I think if you don't get past the first round, it's going to be disappointing. But then I also feel like I'm not being fair to the Lynx too, because they have been playing really well this season. So because of that, I want to put championship aspirations on them, which does mean they might have to make it to the finals. And I hate to say it to them because part of their team construction is the reason why I view Napheesa Collier as MVP. So I'm on the fence. That's why I want to be nice and say just get me to the second round. But help me out here. What are you feeling?
I'm being generous and cautious like you.
Okay. So you say first round? Like get out of the first round, or
get out of the first round into the second round.
Okay.
I'm being super generous, cautious, like you.
So I think my question is, and don't get me wrong, I love Napheesa Collier. She cool people. She good folk.
Yeah.
Will she deliver in the playoffs? Like we've seen Asia, granted, have a oopsie, right? But we've also seen her deliver. I understand Napheesa Collier has played well in the playoffs, but now there's some eyes on them. Because, again, I've been saying that Napheesa Collier MVP and Asia Wilson has had a dominant season. So because of that, now people are going to start critiquing you. You need to be dominant. And she's had good games, 71% shooting on a dominant game. Like she's outplayed Asia the last two games that they played in the regular season. So that's cool. But what do you do in the playoffs? So as long as she delivers in the playoffs, that's going to give me some confidence for next season. I still think their team's a little young. You think Napheesa is going to deliver in the playoffs? Like, do you confidently feel that way?
I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm with you. She needs to deliver in the playoffs. That's for one. Like, I'm with you. Her team is still young, but again, young teams in the playoffs, it's just like you crawling and trying to learn how to walk. That's what some of the young teams. You're crawling and you're trying to make yourself a team, make yourself a name. So do I see them go far? Absolutely yes, because they are a well-talented team, well-coached, good depth, a real good starting five. It's when it comes down to situation timeouts, under 5 minutes, as adjustments, plays, and stuff like that. I just don't know if they are ready for that yet.
I mean, I think they have some growth to do. Another kind of focal point I have, I guess, is Kayla McBride. She's been playing really well in the season. She's been shooting extremely well in the season. I might even go as far as to say she's the best three-point shooter in the WNBA. I might go as far as to say that.
She's been snapping all season long.
But will that carry over in the playoffs as well, too? Regular season is a little bit different than the playoffs, so I will want to focus a little bit on that. Again, snapping in the regular season, playing well, that's cool, fine, and dandy. And I do believe in Kayla McBride, but you got to do it in the regular season. And this Lynx team, I do believe, have the depth. Again, Diamond Miller, she was injured early on. She came back. It's looked okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do expect a little jump next season. But their team overall, like, Courtney Williams been playing pretty well. And I've always loved Courtney's game. I thought Courtney should have been like y'all know how Jamal Crawford was just the sixth man of the year. Like he was just that dude right for that award. She's the sixth woman of the year for like that's for me. Like she's the perfect sixth woman of the year. I made a whole video about it a couple years ago, and I still believe that. And that's not a knock on her game at all. She is that spark plug that can start and close games. But she can also bring your team off the bench pretty well too, or lead your team off the bench pretty well too. So I love the squad that they have right now, and it's not filled with all-stars.
And it's not.
So it's good quality players, but like no name brands, and that's what I think a good team should have. That's why I asked, will Kayla McBride continue to snap? Will Napheesa Collier continue to deliver? all that good stuff. Because we have some teams to talk about in comparison. So, I mean, like
one more. I said, and one more question. Before we go to another,
make it quick. Yeah,
I will. How do you describe? How can I put this in words? Do young teams have a growing pains in their first ever playoff game?
Well, yeah, it's a new experience. Anytime, or at least this is how I view it. Anytime you have like a new life experience, you might struggle a little bit more. So maybe there will be anomalies, but typically I feel like they will struggle. I think though, even a vet team that have come together, I think
still got problems
a little bit. So
still got problems.
I mean, I can expect a team like the Storm to actually lose a game one. So, but like still win the series. So I mean, but with the young team, I could expect them to win game one and then lose the series or get swept. I mean, it doesn't matter. So, but yes, to answer your question. So,
okay.
But a team like the Aces, for example, what's a disappointing playoff exit? Defending champs, back to back. You know what I'm saying? I say personally, you have to get to the championship, and I might say win it, because people are wanting to see this three-peat. So, unfortunately, if you don't win, it's going to be a disappointment in somebody's eyes. What do you think?
If they had home court, I would have said
they're back-to-back champions, bro. I'm sorry. I don't give them that. No.
This is just me, okay? I would say championship bust. I would definitely say a championship bust. If they don't win it this year, it will be some changes.
Well, what changes would you make? Because I think Asia, like folks are talking about her being MVP in Depoy, which we talked about that personally, but obviously she's not going to be the one traded. So, Chelsea Gray because of the age, or maybe Jackie Young because she's the most versatile, so maybe you can get the most for her because people think she can be a superstar. Or maybe Kelsey Plum because we've been hyping up Kelsey Plum so damn much. Like, which person would you personally want to let go of first? And if you want to throw in Asia, because maybe you can get a huge haul for her, bro. Like, go ahead and lob that to the body. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how many people are gonna rock with it, but hey, get spicy if you want to.
I mean, I'm not trying to go that damn as spicy. I got love, but I could say the weakest link is probably gonna be Kelsey Plum, only because she's a shooter, but she don't got the best decision playmaking wise. So
that's tough. I mean, that's tough.
I was going to say Chelsea because of the age, but if I had to pick a weak link from the starting five, I would have to say Kelsey Plum.
That's interesting. It's disgusting word. I might have to say, if I have to pick somebody, it could be Chelsea because of the age. Only because I saw Jackie Young and felt like she could be a complete player. She is a complete player. She can get me the points, rebounds, assists, and not take away from my team. I think she can make smart plays. Now, I do lose some of a respectable amount of playmaking and veteran leadership. I do hear that. I would love to say, too, though, Kelsey does play make as well. And I think Asia Wilson has become a complete player, too. And is improving the passing. I'm not saying she's a playmaker. I'm saying she can play make. So because of that, I think Chelsea's up for trade discussion. Because also Chelsea could be very vital to a team, any team. Like, and let's not get into. I think they could still win or be competitive with this squad. But if you're talking about going forward and sustaining a core, I don't know how much longer you're going to have this team be the favorites. Like you'll be exciting next year,
and then
after that it's going to be a little tougher.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little tougher because now at least I'll be expecting other teams to surpass y'all respectfully. And it'll be like you're the vets. You need somebody now to help out. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm ignorant. Is that how you view it?
Yeah, I could say the same thing. Like you will have like young teams that will have more growth, more time to gel. They're going to be looking at, everybody has always been looking at the Aces as the team to be in the favorite every single year. You don't, like you say, you don't know how much longer this core or this team itself will have that championship window. So, like I said, for one of the other teams, it's literally championship or bust. Championship, first ever 3P, it says the comments. If it's a bust, you're going to have questions.
Yeah. End of day. So, unfortunately, there's some pressure on the Aces, but they put it on themselves.
They did.
Winning back-to-back championships. So, y'all wanted to be like our Sparks. There you go. I hope people don't try to ask us about the following year after we won back-to-back. Let's not. I'm glad the buzzer went off. That's the end of the daggone show. That's the end of the show. But ladies and gentlemen, no, seriously, this is a good season for the WNBA.
Yeah, it's a real good season.
So let's watch it. Let's enjoy it.
Yes.
And then I'm looking forward to next season too, because when our girls get paid, you know what I'm saying? Paige backers come to the Sparks. We gonna get a bucket. But Chris, that is the end of the show.
Yes.
So you got anything you want to say before we close up shop?
Hell of a episode, bruh. And to the ladies that is going to the playoffs, good luck, have fun, but always, and remember, if breaking some ankles does not mean a damn thing at all if you cannot get a bucket.
I appreciate everybody for listening to the show. This man here, oh my God. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we'll end it. Hope y'all have a good one. Take care.